slabs are still biting. I got a free air show, and the slabs are biting. Setting up the air show right now. Got the whole beach to myself. Doing some flybys. Holy gargantua, Batman. I've been spooled twice almost. Finally got one of these buggers. Nice one.
Hey, good morning, my dear friends, and welcome to beautiful Surfside, California. There's a pretty good breeze blowing in here on the beach here this morning, but it's exciting times here because down in Huntington Beach, we've got a great air show this weekend. Of course, I've already heard about some good surf fishing down that way from our friend Captain Tino Valentine. We've also seen some incredible fishing down towards San Diego and all the way up here into the LA Orange County area for offshore yellowfin and bluefin tuna. Man, what a trip the Aztec had. Just indicative of the kind of fall I think we're going to continue to have, as it has been magnificent with that variety and more yellowfin tuna pushing up the coast. Lobster season opened last night. There was lots of craziness out there on the water, and several boats, or I should say private boaters, did really, really well for the opener. That's good news also. You know what time it is. It's time for the morning briefing. Good morning, my friends. Oh, my God, it is so good to be with you all. That coffee tastes really, really good. Hopefully those guys you see behind me, if you can see them, Bob Osborne, Tom Raftigan, Surf Fishing, will come up with a catch here this morning because the pressure's on these guys. Tino Valentine's all over the big barred perch down south of us. He's right there where the air show is setting up and having a great time. And Tino, my friend, it is so great to see you, my friend. I'm happy to see you out there doing well. Hey, don't forget to hit that like button, share these videos if you are enjoying them. Tick that bell. You'll be notified when there's new content. And of course, subscribe to Friedman Adventures. You can find us on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook, Apple Podcast, and Spotify. Please check that out. Some upcoming trips. October the 20th, we're going to be on board the Independence. 5 glorious days. I think there's still some spots open on that. If you'd like to join us, go to independencesportfishing.com and sign up. I'll be there shooting a new video. November the 3rd, we're going to be on the horizon out of H&M Landing. And yes, I think this bite is going to not only keep going, I think it's going to get better. If you'd like to find out how you can get on that trip, send Bill Wilkerson, the captain, a text, 619-985-5179. Send Bill a text right now before that trip sells out, because I've already gotten a ton of phone calls and a ton of interest. So make sure you jump on board that one with us. And don't forget, my friends, we are constantly keeping you updated throughout the day. We've got long form podcasts going on all the time. We will keep you in touch with the very latest and help you to learn more about how you can catch more and bigger fish, and that includes lobster and freshwater fish, saltwater fish, and everything in between. All right, my friends, let's get into it with you all right now. The Lobster Report brought to you by Promar Ahi, where you can get 10% off all your lobster gear by going to promarahi.com. You have to put in Friedman 10 at checkout. You get 10% off, or you can just go down the street here to Big Fish Bait and Tackle, and they'll give you 10% off when you mention Friedman Adventures. Depends on who's working there. Sometimes they'll toss you out of the store when you mention me, and other times they'll say, hey, yeah, no problem, 10% off. So, go in there and be cautious. Let's put it that way. There was some great lobster fishing last night. Hoop netting is an absolute ball. I love it. I went out to Dana War Sport Fishing last year and had an absolute ball. Kenny Menard with great fishing. Rodney Sakamoto and Chef Jason Lawler. Chef Jason, of course, is the chef on board the Amigo out of 22nd Street Landing in San Pedro. And he said, easy limits over here at Catalina Island. So they had some really great fishing, and it sounds like it is just going to continue to be a great lobster season. Well, only one day, but it was good and a lot of fun. And those things, I mean, am I right? Or leave a comment down below if you know the price. I think they're like $50 a pound now for local lobster, spiny lobster. And so you go out there and catch 8 pounds of lobster. Well, I don't have to tell you, man, it's $400 worth of lobster you just came home with. And that's one night of the entire season. So it not only is a lot of fun, they're not only delicious, but it can pay off for you. How much are those things a pound? Let me know in comments down below. All right, let me take you down to Ensenada and tell you that the fishing down that way, there's more yellowfin tuna pushing up the coast, and the guys that work hard at it are able to come up with some good YFT fishing down there in that neck of the woods. 15 to 25 pound class fish for the most part, and they bite nails. That's the one good thing about yellowfin tuna. In most cases, they're going to really bite and bite full speed. Not like the bluefin, they get really, really finicky. Once again, finding a kelp, there can be yellowfin on a kelp along with some dorado. There can also be yellowfin when you see a tern make a dip. Those little white birds, they make that dip. They're telling you there's fish right here. And also, those things love to hang out with their buddies, the dolphin. You see a dolphin pod, there's many ways to get bit on those where you can troll right through those pods and get a bite. You can anticipate the direction that that pod is moving in, get up in front of it, drop down yo-yo iron jigs or bait, and then when the pod hits you, wind on them. Many times you'll get bit that way, but they are an indicator of that YFT. Inshore, when we're fishing around Todos Santos Islands and Punta Banda, there's some excellent calico bass fishing, especially around that rugged part of the Baja coast that's so pristine and gorgeous. There's some really good calico bass fishing going on there. So you can bring artificials down there, or you can bring some fresh dead squid, or even frozen squid down there, and you'll just have a ball catching that stuff. And of course, you have the rockfish to entertain yourselves with. So really great stuff going on down there in that neck of the woods. All right, up there in San Diego, yes, there are misses every single day. Some guys don't connect, but overall, wow, big scores on the yellowfin tuna. And perhaps the boat that I want to focus on right now that just says it all about fall fishing in northern Baja and southern California has got to be the Aztec on a 2-day trip. The Aztec on a 2-day trip, 185 yellowfin tuna, 76 on the Dorado, 61 bluefin tuna, 31 yellowtail, and it is exactly that kind of variety and big numbers that are indicative of a great season yet to come. In fact, I think we're going to hit our stride here in a little bit later in the year, in October. I've been calling for it all year long. We see that constant flow of fish, and man, the Aztec says it all. What a trip. What a great, great trip that was. Whenever you throw a bait and you're not exactly sure what you're going to hook, that is so much fun. Those yellowfin, mostly, I want to say 15 to 30 pounds, while on the other side of the coin, the bluefin, you never know what you're going to hook. A lot of 20 to 40 pound BFT, but those big ones are still around. And I mean big ones. New Loan, they were out on a great trip, and man, the New Loan's been red hot. 2.5-day trip. Limits of bluefin tuna, 20 yellowtail, 15 of their bluefin tuna, 150 to 200 pounds. How can it get any better than that old glory? Limits of bluefin tuna. The Pride 22nd Street Landing in San Pedro, California. They had great fishing, a mix of yellowfin and bluefin tuna. Sean Roberts, the captain, says we also checked out the local islands and caught some short white sea bass and, checked it out, just keeping tabs on it. Sean Roberts always keeping all his options open, so that is great news. The San Diego at 12 noon yesterday, everybody's looking around at one another and saying, that's why they call it fishing and not catching. I guess it's not our day today. So 12 noon, everybody's kind of, a little bit down in the dumps. Not really. I mean, most people understand how the game gets played. 2:30 in the afternoon, they were plumb tuckered out. 100 plus on the tuna, 90 yellowfin tuna, the rest of it BFT. Jolene Thompson was on that trip and said it was great, fantastic fishing, great crew. She said that Booger, the captain, Ryan Bostian, did such a great job, and that crew on the San Diego, second to none. I love it when you come into the bottom of the ninth and you need a home run to make things happen and you hit it. it is such a rewarding trip. And that was a great one on board the San Diego Fury. Dana War Sport Fishing 2-day trip with 62 yellowfin tuna, 16 bluefin tuna, 1 flathead to go along with that. So really great stuff going on. I'm telling you right now, things are really headed in the right direction. How about Mike Owens for a guy that illustrates how important it is to change your baits regularly? You know, you hear me harping about that all the time. Mike Owens was on the Western Pride, and he said it was a great trip, but he couldn't get a bite. He estimates he threw about 100 baits. He went up there, chose a good bait, tossed it out, couldn't get a bite. Tossed it out, couldn't get a bite. 100 times. And then the last fish of the day was for Mike. He ended up getting a fish. He had to drop down to 20-pound fluorocarbon, a number 4 hook. These fish locally are really, really finicky, so you definitely have to do that. But my God, way to go, Mike. Talk about working hard and it paying off in the very end. I am so stoked about that one. Dan and Kim down in San Diego, they are such great members of the Friedman Adventures family. So they poked their nose out there yesterday, and what did they find? Kind of windy, kind of like right now. It's windy here. Kind of rough, wasn't looking that good. They see a marlin, try to bait it. It wasn't interested. They thought, okay, well, whatever, we'll keep going here. And they see a mako shark do somersaults out of the water. That is always so cool. Dan said it was about 12 feet out of the water. Then they find a hotel, a gorgeous, beautiful, big kelp patty with nobody home. So it wasn't looking like their day was going to be so great. And then all of a sudden they see a smaller kelp patty, as Dan described it, like the size of a pizza pan. And he said, you know, Kim, do you remember last year when we found all kinds of flatheads on a similar sized kelp and they roll up on it? Well, while it wasn't wide open, Kim got this nice yellowtail, which provided a wonderful dinner for 2 wonderful people last night. And as Dan and Kim say, a day on the water, you just can't beat the adventure. Nice going, you guys. That is awesome also. Old Glory, I think I mentioned, limits of bluefin tuna. Several other boats, LA Orange County based boats, continue to do very, very well. Thunderbird on a 2-day trip had great fishing. We see several other boats getting in on it. These guys that are fishing in 1-day range, or I should say 3/4 day range, here they'll go out and catch rockfish, and many times they'll go out and take a look at the bottom stuff also. I'll get into that in a moment, but really great variety, a lot more yellowfin tuna in the counts, and things appear to be headed in the right direction. I don't see it slowing down. Weather also is going to cooperate, so things are looking good there. Man, great fishing. www.opsonusa.com. Put in FA at checkout, and you'll get a free gift from owner Greg Brown. Make sure you do indeed do that. All right, so we're taking a look at the islands. Not many guys are really interested in that because of this tremendous offshore fishing that is going on. Coronado Islands, there's some yellows, calico bass. San Clemente Island, a little bit of yellowtail, occasional sea bass, mostly calico bass there. Catalina, whitefish, sheep's head, rockfish, occasional yellowtail there. Channel Islands, wide open. Rockfish up there in that neck of the woods. In fact, on the local areas with fishing rockfish, the Island Spirit yesterday, great fishing on the bottom stuff out of Ventura Harbor Sport Fishing, 805-676-3474. We've seen nothing short of great fishing for those boys. They continue to hammer it out. Coral Sea, Santa Barbara, great rock fishing. And the Stardust, great fishing on big, fat, razorback bottom Dorado. Yeah, those species, that fish is so incredible. I know, they're whitefish, okay, but let's jazz it up a little bit. Razorback bottom Dorado, man, they just got all over the exotics yesterday on the Stardust. Great eating fish. They pull hard. They're lots of fun, and they were some big ones on the Stardust yesterday. No question about that. It's a gorgeous Saturday, a little bit breezy. As I look at the water, it's a little bit roughed up here locally, but it's going to come down. I'm hoping, you know, we paid an incredible amount of money, and I'm getting a little bit disappointed to have a flyby by the United States Navy or Air Force here this morning. They're a little bit late, so hopefully they'll show up here very, very soon. And you're going to have to let me know if Osborne caught anything back there during today's show. On the local scene down there in San Diego, good bass fishing for the new C4. A lot of releases on some shorter fish. Good action, good rockfish if you want that. Up there at Oceanside, we see some good calico bass fishing there. In Dana Wharf, same thing. Good rock fishing locally for the LA Orange County bass boats, same thing. Really nice, big, fat rockfish fishing in that 300 plus feet of water. I love that. Redondo, Marina del Rey, a few bass up there in that neck of the woods, sculpin, rockfish, whitefish. Very, very good. We already covered up there toward Ventura. In the surf, you saw Tino Valentine catching those big perch. That perch bite down there where Tino is fishing has been going on for months. It's been really good. Noli Yan has been all over it, doing really great. And now we see Tino Valentine this morning getting ready for the air show. He's got to be stoked, man. He's down there having a ball. And that guy, Tino, he used to run the Freedom. He is a superior surf fisherman. It's good to see that. I don't know how these schmucks did here so far this morning. You know more about that than I do. I'll check with them here in a second. But there's been that perch, there's been some yellowfin croaker, there's been some spot fade croaker, there's been a few halibut in the surf. California has some great surf fishing with a wide variety of fish, and you can do really well. You can dig up sandworms in the surf or sand crabs. Tino's digging sand crabs. These guys have bait from Big Fish Bait and Tackle, your surf fishing headquarters here in Seal Beach, right on the corner of Seal Beach Boulevard and Pacific Coast Highway, where you can go down and see a vast array of baits that are available to you. You can get 10% off your lobster gear. They've got gear for surf fish and big game stuff. Big Fish Bait and Tackle. Make sure you visit them really, really soon. There has been some pretty good fishing. All right, my friends, I love this offshore bite. Man, that Aztec scoring. There's other boats that had similar types of scores. We're seeing more Dorado all of a sudden. A lot of yellowfin, tuna. The bluefin haven't gone anywhere. You saw those big fish on the new low end. It's incredible. It's going to be a great weekend. And not only do we have this air show going on, but there's some motorcycle races at the Orange County Fairgrounds. I'll be there serving beer tonight. Can't wait for that. It's always a fun event. And also, we'll continue to watch some really fantastic fishing with you all. Walk with Phil. You want to go on a walk? You want to talk about how you can get healthier? Not that I'm a picture of health, but I'm trying to go in the right direction. And I'm bringing you along on the journey. Walk with Phil on YouTube. You can join us there and find out more about how you can get healthier. And, if you want to fight any kind of problems, medically speaking, the best way you can do that is by getting in better shape. And if somebody like me, the guy that was over 400 pounds at one time, could do it, you can do it too. Walk with Phil on YouTube. And that channel's just starting to get cranked up, so I'm looking forward to bringing you more there. And 11 a.m., 22nd Street Landing. Sunday, I'll be there. Let's go for a walk. Let's come back, have a cup of coffee, and talk about the great fishing, politics. Well, maybe not politics. Everybody wants to strangle everybody. When you start talking about politics, maybe we'll just talk about some other stuff where people don't get too upset. Hey, have a great and beautiful Saturday. It's always so great to be with you all. I can't thank you enough for spending time here. Like, subscribe, tick the bell, notified when there's new content. Share this video this morning. I would really appreciate that. And don't forget Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. We're on all those platforms also. It's a great day. I hope you get out into the great outdoors with your family and loved ones. And I hope to see you really, really soon.